Another beautiful day to talk all things sporty and football. It has been fireworks since the last time we sat on this couch, and 2 games to go, and everything. Okbo, okbo, okbo. Welcome to Kicking It with Nairabet. I am Tracy Chappelle, the one you call so, aka for the Queen of Sports, Boko, and I'm with superstars, analysts, and of course worldwide, international. We are here to do business and see everything terrible. Let me start from the man on the other side wearing glasses like me, G-Mate.
Oh wow. You really start with me?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mamas and papas, I am Jimmy, the official party starter, anchor of everything on start leading everything. I am Jimmy.
How do you feel, Arsenal? You
well, to be honest with you, let me let them see my eyes. You know me too, God. You see, actually, I'm very sad at our 10th position now, even with a game in hand. But you see, you have to take all these things with a pinch of salt. The reality is, we didn't expect much, considering the first 2 games of the restart, right, in the league. But the only hope realistically was a good run in the cup, which we've had. We're yet to finish the job, so we can't really get excited. But we beat Man City that beat us 3-0. Let me enjoy it.
Okay, enjoy it. Don't forget that they are still below Tottenham.
They are still below Ballon but it's not what we're focusing on.
We will not focus on that. We will focus on the man that has done a lot of stuff on the beach for Nigeria and on the grass for a lot of clubs all over. Mr. Abu Aziz, waiting this up.
It makes sense. So I realize
It makes sense.
it's such a pleasure to be here today and being among these great people. I am so happy.
So when they talk like say they come political, right? They worry.
You never know.
Just leave them. What they do and small.
Gradually. It's a green affair. It's very strange to have you on this side.
Yep.
I usually see where Jimmy is.
Got your back.
On this side. Yes.
Tia and Carrie Wilson, pretty much.
Stick up.
No, it's good to be here. Looking forward to it.
Manchester United, how do you feel?
Probably Akin. I should. Probably should ask Akin or Biola. But I think it's been that kind of week, so let's just start the conversation there. I'm sure we'll find a way to put Ole in somewhere.
Oh, Ole. I think we will start with a man called Ole. And if you want to be part of the conversation, just jump on our YouTube page, jump on Twitter at Kicking It with Nairabet, at Nairabet, and be part of the conversation. If you want play ticket, just chill. We'll give you all the odds as we go. Starting with Jimmy.
What's up?
This is somebody who would like to talk about. Ole.
Yep.
We've seen him in action for about 18 months at Old Trafford.
Yep.
Can you say conclusively, Ole, get his style of play?
I mean, I'm 50% in, 50% out. This is why I say that. He hasn't really had his full complement of personnel for this season. I don't want to say for the last 2 seasons because he's been battling with is Pogba going or not, is this person coming or not, is having to deal with the sales of Lukaku and the rest of them, losing players and not getting the same quality of players back. Same things that Jose Mourinho was fighting with when he was there. For this season, based on the return, on the restart, I've seen a certain style of play which has worked for them.
So what would you call Ole Gunnar's style of football?
I would say it's all-out attack because that's all he has. You've seen how they've been found out in the defense. Most times, the midfield has been overrun because Fernandes is an offensive player. There's no... Matic is good, but he's slowly aging.
Yep.
And we can expect him to be on his outward rather than reaching his peak. They do need proper recruitment. They haven't got that in a couple of seasons. But in the front line, they have pretty much a potent attack. So all they need to do, they've been doing, is to build up their play with, we will attack you more than you can attack us. Okay. And the more we pressure you, the less you'll be able to, find out about our defense. Which is almost the same thing with Manchester City this season.
I like how you say that because I'm going to move to Abu Aziz. As someone when you say don't play attack positions and then you don't shift to midfield sometimes. Yeah, sure. Jimmy says something, attack. It's a form of challenge for Manchester United. So how would you rate Ole Gunnar as a manager? Is Sabi or you know Sabi?
In Sabi well, very, very well. I think the only problem with Man U get at the moment, Man U no get point man.
But he have favor over labor.
Machia na very, very good player. But the way I see him no be point man. They operate well if they come from the left.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they get Rashford within that same position right now. Greenwood, a very, very good boy, great player. They operates from the right, but then still need person who go fit play that point man in the mode of a player like Lewandowski, Benzema, those kind of
You don't
big
think
man,
Rashford is the kind of
big
player
man.
that can be like that?
Rashford not going to play point man. Like he loves running well with the ball. So most times Rashford would be effective if they come from the side, especially from the left. So Martial not that kind of player as well. When he first come man, if you look most of his goals, when they come from left, he go drift in, bend or shoot. Now the kind of player will be. But fortunately right now, in the see goals they score, so they know they feel and say they need point man. The Igalo with them buy, I feel say maybe them
Now, I want to ask you
not
now.
them not to believe Igalo because Igalo na big strong man, a point man. We suppose they start game, but because of the form we Martial day now, they're not going to bench Martial.
You be mad ask you something.
Wait,
Yeah, right.
I was about to go to Yubi as it stands. Yubi, he said
Yep.
something about Martial and Igalu. Because the game we saw for the FA Cup, we saw Chelsea overwhelm a Manchester United side when they say not bring their highest goal scorer in the FA Cup in the name of Odion Igalu. So was that like a default for Ole, or is it just
I'm just gonna key the question. When asking one too.
Yeah, it's along the same lines because he's basically said
Igalo.
Igalo,
Right.
Rashford, and Martial, right? And you have all these attackers. They're scoring goals, right? My belief is the reason why Igalo is not playing is because you have to keep those
Right,
high-profile
right,
players
right.
happy.
Sure.
So I mean, this is what I think about United's attack. And look, you can't keep out a player that is scoring goals.
Yeah, sure.
This is common logic.
Fact.
You know,
Yeah,
once a player is scoring goals, you can't take him
Yeah,
out the
yeah,
side.
sure,
You know,
sure.
because the idea of every football manager is to put goals in the team, not take out of it. Especially in a team like United that obviously need the goals.
Considering
But
that
yes,
they
consider
keep
yes,
the
going
back.
yes,
back.
the thing. Do you want to keep the staff for this Oli is always busting my brain. Do you want to keep players happy or get a trophy? Because
If you
other
don't have
managers,
happy
other,
players, you won't win a trophy.
other managers, when you notice that your front line is not giving you what you want by the 58 into 68th minute, you would have brought Igalo.
So,
Not
so,
bringing in
so,
at the
so,
80th
so
minute.
it's important to mention at the start of this conversation that the problem United have is not in attack.
It's
So
not,
I
which
think,
is why
I think,
that's their gift.
but maybe having the wrong conversation in many ways. You know,
Yeah.
the problem United have is at the back.
He's
you
at the
know.
back and as far back as a goalkeeper.
I mean, you probably
Actually,
have
that's
to
right.
add
That's
to
right.
this
They
as well.
get, they
As
get
far
is
back,
they
yeah.
get.
And it's
very,
always it's helping safe.
I'd be very compassionate towards De Gea because for 5-6 years when that club was not going anywhere,
He was a
he was
stalwart.
the only world class player in the team.
Yeah, sure.
They get
And
satisfied.
he was probably saving the manager's job, saving probably
lot of managers'
even
jobs.
more than the manager, probably saving the executive director as well.
Yeah.
So, look, we've got to cut him some slack. I still think he's in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world. I still really do. Just not the best anymore.
I mean, his
And
mistakes
maybe-
would drop him down on
and,
that list.
You know, it's a bit tough to stay in a particular position for such a long time. When you look across European football, every other goalkeeper that was at their prime when De Gea was at their prime is no longer at their prime.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
Neuer, who were the guys there? Peter Cech was the top goalkeeper at the time. You
Casillas.
had Casilla at the time. Those goalkeepers are no longer top goalkeepers. So you have the new generation of superstars. Ter Stegen, you've got Alisson in goal. You've got this,
Oblak.
Oblak, of course, who is a fantastic goalkeeper. So there is that to fill out. So United are in the place where do you take a chance with him? Do you give him one more season to probably, inject some, energy and drive into himself, or do you bring back the Henderson, who I don't think is ready to be a United goalkeeper at the moment because of the scrutiny?
What of
Because-
Romero?
No, of course, Romero is a goalkeeper, but obviously you've got to think long term. So there is that as well. But United are, in my opinion, still in a good place. The problem I have is with the so-called atmosphere that has changed around the club. A lot of people make it sound like they're out of the woods already. Far from it. They're in the same exact position as Chelsea are in, and that's what they have to admit. And if the sooner they admit that they're not flying yet, even though they've got a fantastic unbeaten run, which of course just ended, the problems probably will still continue.
Problems continue, and I'm going to move on to something that just boasts every pundit and every person that likes to bet on what's it called, the Ballon d'Or. Usually for years we used to complain that it's only Messi and Ronaldo, and then it then snuck in Modric. Problem now is we are not even going to have that one to cry about this year because there is no longer any Ballon d'Or. Jimmy, who will you say this thing pay pass?
I don't think I can actually identify one exact player.
Lewandowski?
Be
Messi?
that as it may, they're still not in the Champions League with a clean slate because of the delay in proceedings of world football. A lot of things are hanging in the balance. But if we're going on what's happened previously and how it's been judged and how they performed prior to COVID, you'd say Lewandowski is in the discussion. You'd say Messi is in the discussion. Yes, they've lost the league and they've lost the champion. They're probably out of the Champions already. But he's still the highest goal scorer in the league.
Yep.
There's still Ronaldo. They're still on the way to win at Juventus.
Yeah.
He's second most highest goal scorer in that, and he's still in the Champions League as well. So if you take those three out of it, who else do you really have?
So I'm just going to come in here, and the reason I've come in is when you say Lionel Messi is still probably the best player in the world at the moment.
He has the most assists.
He's got the most assists, obviously. He's got that as well.
Most assists.
So the primary reason we're mentioning Messi, Ronaldo, who else, in the list is because they've got a lot of goals.
Lewandowski.
So, who would you rather go with? The guy who has scored the most goals, had the flying Bayern Munich since the restarts. Since the restart, 1 or 11 games.
Yep.
Lewandowski has been flying. So, if we're going to base the Ballon d'Or this year based on goals, which of course we know it's not going to happen anymore.
Just league football.
I think it will be Lewandowski, no doubts about it. Because clearly, in European football, Champions League, Messi has not been Messi.
Ronaldo only has.
Ronaldo has not been Ronaldo as well.
He only has the Serie A to win. They're out of the cup.
So basically, all these players are in the conversation off the back of their league form. So who's the best domestic league player in Europe?
It will be
Lewandowski. So obviously the Ballon d'Or would not hold this year due to that break in football. But
I don't think he'll be upset about it.
I think he'll be upset.
I think he should be.
If Bayern Munich go on to win,
this was the only time he would have been able to get it.
It's his best season ever.
I think.
Probably on the way out.
In as much as I'm using Lewandowski, I would also want to bring in Sergio Ramos into this discussion, and that guy has been Real Madrid. Nobody gave Real Madrid a chance this season. Nobody. Because in the preseason I watched Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid.
Yep.
And they destroyed Real Madrid. And I was actually giving Atletico Madrid the chance to win the La Liga. And unfortunately, they couldn't. They couldn't with the bunch of players. And since the restart of the league, Sergio Ramos has been everything Real Madrid could ever play. So I think he would be pained. He would be pained. He might not show it, but he has really done so well for Real Madrid.
He can't be more pained than Virgil van Dijk last season. Look, I don't think any defender. Obviously,
I'm all for. Are you saying Virgil van Dijk?
Yeah.
Ramos.
If you're using
no.
Van Dijk,
After the performance that Van Dijk had last season, 100%.
Look, 100%.
He won the Champions League. He should have won the league. He was the best player in England. He literally on his own made Liverpool a formidable team.
Excuse
me.
Unfortunately,
Van Dijk did so well last season.
I would say Mane.
The Messi and the
was the one
Ronaldo
that
were
was supposed to
also
be
in the
crying.
mix.
Mane was always playing well. Liverpool never had a good defense.
Mane.
Remember that.
Mane was a quiet guy.
Look,
Mane has been scoring goals, but still no victory for Liverpool.
Say
Ramos. It's an insult to Ramos to call Van Dijk.
I mean, obviously Ramos is a more accomplished player than Virgil van
But
Dijk.
off their one season performance, it's an argument we can have. We can even take it as far as on Pro Evolution FIFA.
In the end,
Van Dijk is better than Ramos.
Look,
yes.
In the game,
yes.
Yes.
And those games they rate you off one season, and as they update as you are performing in the season.
Let's not also
Even
forget.
Van Dijk will disagree.
Abu, let's not forget.
Days.
The players. Look, Ramos is an exceptional player. He's a dream
Nobody's
footballer.
taking anything
Nobody's
away
taking
from
anything from that. But you've also got to say the responsibilities he's given at the club aids the player you're seeing. So Ramos takes free kicks, Ramos takes penalties, Ramos does all that
And
stuff.
he does it very well.
And remember, he wasn't doing it when Ronaldo was there.
So
Van Dijk doesn't have to do those things.
Moving forward before we scatter this
Why would you ask Van Dijk to take a penalty when you have Salah?
My goodness.
Right.
Someone that doesn't play penalty well.
Ramos never played a penalty when Ronaldo was there. Remember that.
Let's move on, people. If you have another opinion, if you feel like Van Dijk really is really better than Ramos, he should be someone
Nobody's saying he's better. He's just equally as good.
Really.
They're equally as
If
good.
you're on the table with Jimmy, please.
I'm not going to leave this matter out. They're equally as good.
If you dare to say table with Jimmy, just go for inside the YouTube for them for kicking it with Nairabet. Egg of you. This is a democratic place. We will not stone you. But somebody that has been stoned several times for being very outspoken in Nigerian Premier Football League. Abu, what's up? We're moving to the Premier League in Nigeria.
Your favorite topic.
I did.
Since the restart of the COVID, even with CAF telling people to come back, you can come back if you have medical clearance, if you have protocols in place to start the league. Nigerian league has been cancelled, and with point per game, we've had 3 teams climb up to represent the country when it comes to intercontinental football. I know you played for Warri Wolves before the ending of the season. The question I say, we see Kenya collect endorsement for their league, even with nothing they happen. We don't see many countries like PSL, the female football soccer league, or South Africa. They collect endorsements, sponsors. Oluwa, what did they sell for Nigerian Premier Football League now? Who will offend? I mean, you've been in the system. Drink something.
If you ask me, what I go ask now?
You ask them.
The thing we say, before this season, the last season, before it start, so many problems did the Nigerian league. We them say they won't sign a contract with one TV rights.
Next TV.
Next TV, them go to show
Next
matches. That would have been one great move for Nigeria Premier League, because this season we just end for be the best season, because if you look, many
It's very
away
competitive,
wins,
yes.
many
Most
away wins.
wins.
If you go away, go play well, you go win, and nobody go disturb you. Referees they blow well.
Yep.
So assuming say those matches there on TV, it would have been very, very marketable for the players, for the league in general. But unfortunately, now we just see them sign with Next TV. We don't see anything. So as the league can end like that, I believe say if for be good period for now, make them try go back to drawing board.
The
Make
proverbial
them arrange
drawing
as
board, the
next
legendary drawing
season,
board.
the following season will take day well. So about Kenya, they sign endorsements. All those people, them know what they do. We moku no lie, we dey back. No lie, we dey back. Our league is back.
Jimmy, I don't think you can go.
I feel like jumping. No, I agree with most of what he said. But I don't agree with what the nucleus of the problem is. Our league is a reflection of our nation, right? We want it to be the best. We want Nigeria to be the #1 nation in the world, but it's not. Same with the league. We believe we have raw talent. We believe we are the best. We believe that Nigerians are the most able to overcome anything. Like, you put a Nigerian in a difficult position, he'll believe in his natural ability to get out of it. Those are the things that make us thrive, right? But those are the things that still stop us from succeeding, because there is no proper structure. There's still a lot of corruption. So let's stop worrying about countries that are very much aware of how to overcome corruption when there's serious matters ahead of us. Like, with the corruption, there are people like Abu Aziz that their lives are at line. If he had nothing else to play for or to work for in life, right, it was all football for him, the league is done. How do you think he would survive?
Nairabet.
Bust my brain.
I don't you collect odd now.
Wow, I didn't see that
I
coming.
play over 2.5 yesterday now.
But on the real, that's what it turns into, because COVID-19 has come. What's the welfare package for all these players? They don't even know if their contracts will carry on. So how do you plan with that? First of all, the players are not taken care of. How do you get quality? First of all, there's no quality. So okay, let's say we manage, we get quality, but nobody's seen it. So if nobody's seen it, why am I going to go sponsor a team? When nobody's there to watch the team, how am I going to get money back from people coming to the stadium to watch the players, or even make it marketable for a bigger corporation? We're talking about foreign sponsorship, but I'm not even talking about local sponsorship first. We're still run as a government operating.
I mean, the league is a very extensive conversation, but of course we try to make light of a bad situation. First of all, we don't need a 20-team league in Nigeria.
Okay.
Can't afford it.
We don't need it. We cannot afford it. And the best countries have other. You know, we're stuck in this.
They did it before like this.
Small,
Let's continue
this
doing
microcosm of the European football model. We've got the people who run football in this country, the LMC, have got to realize that we need to create systems that are peculiar to us and functional to us. So I don't care if you have a 9-team league. If those 9 teams are able to cater to player welfare, able to pay salaries on time,
have their own
have
offices
the
and
minimum
structures
requirements of the
as a
CAF
business.
club licensing.
Yes.
This is something, look, so across the 20 teams, every single administrator has the minimum requirements for CAF club licensing. Not one team, in my opinion, meets any requirements halfway. So we're not even going to go there and
how do they get the clearance to be a team
clearance
in the first place?
Come on,
they don't even have a worthy home ground, let alone an office or even a changing room.
I like what Yubi said, because during the course of this whole lockdown, private investors in Nigeria, people who own the few private clubs, they decided that they were going to probably form their own private football league.
Yeah.
In your opinion, yes or no, do you think a league made of private owners, will it thrive? Because the EPL is a model like that. The Spanish La Ligas initially started as government clubs and then went to private investors. Will it thrive? Yes or no?
This is a football show, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring a basketball analogy.
Fine.
The NBBF, they've been on and off. The league is on, the league is not on. There's a sponsor.
This one's not even serious.
Do you understand? So that one is there in the same vein, but even worse because nobody's watching what's happening there. But in that, there was still something called an ABL, African Basketball League, that was brought in, right? There was private investment put into local teams. There were international teams brought in by private investors, the UBAs and the rest of them I don't want to bring from. But they were all sponsored. The American hardwood floor that we see on TV was imported and brought here by private individuals, ex-Nigerians who had played in the NBA before. All this was put together. I can tell you for a fact, as in the host of that event, for the period in which it was on, it was the best thing available. The stadiums were packed, everybody was there, all the media houses came through to watch it because it was a big deal. Now that is private. So I encourage any private individuals or corporate
You didn't finish where it went.
No. Which is where I was going. I would say it's great to have that interest at hand. But I said something earlier on. We still run football like a government parastatal. So that government factor will still come in, and they will now say, as the superior power in the country, we will not allow you to privately run football because you are taking. Then they banned some of the players that were registered on the local side. So if you ever played in the ABL, you can never play in the Nigerian league.
I always wondered how the thing.
So the ABL was cancelled.
Wow.
And if we decide to start the private league in Nigeria, do you know there is a private team presently in the Nigerian league and they are not paying well? And their salaries are not constant.
I know we have to wrap up on this particular side of the conversation.
Oh, okay.
However, we have to realize that the LMC is not government run.
It's private.
The LMC is a corporation
that manages
the league.
Yeah.
The problem is you have a private, in quote, entity or corporation running government clubs or running clubs that depend on government funding.
Yeah.
So it's a quagmire, and I don't understand how we get into this situation where we're in a mess. It's like an iPhone that's entangled.
Just say it's a fucking mess. It's okay. You can say
it's a bad mess.
Yes. Just you can stress it. But I can
it's
tell
fucked up. It's fucked up. That's what it is. It's fucked up.
But may the odds always be in the favor of the people that try to invest in Nigerian football or sports.
I will always encourage
the players.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I covered the league for a long time.
Definitely. If you have opinion on this, you know what to do. Just play through on the social media, on Twitter, on YouTube, and we'll kick it with you after this break. I get to my favorite part of the show, and let me tell you what that part is. I get to play odds and play tickets and tell you the games that will make sense for you.
They look witty, they make you the fresh these days.
I thought they shop money. The odds and the favors. Don't go anywhere, man. Welcome. Okay, and so we are back right here on Kicking It with Nairabet. I am with men of same color. Oh, it is such a shock, such a shock. I hope you're catching the fun and putting your white paper on ground because we're about to play some tickets. But before we jump into that, my lord, we thought it was going to be a Manchester versus Manchester final. for the FA Cup. Unfortunately, people of sports, I am pleased to announce that it is a London versus London. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Let me face the man that is pumping with pride and circumstance.
Come on.
How far now? Jimmy?
I've added a bit of
Muscles.
since
LBS.
I lifted the big weight called Man City. You know, I curled with them in the first half, and then I did a bench press with them in the second half. Obama blood clot, you're my fucking brother. I said it, yes, my Obama was the difference. But what was lacking in Arsenal in their previous games against Tottenham, in their previous games against Man City as well, the defensive discipline to stick to the plan. Yes, the first game against Man City was errors, injuries. Xhaka was injured. You know, Mari got injured. So David Luiz that wasn't ready came in. So we can say that's the excuse because we could see for minutes in the first half of that game.
Right.
The same thing we saw on Saturday was replicated. We didn't get the goal in the first game, but we got the goal. Aubameyang gave us the goal. That clinical finishing, disciplined defending, that's what got Arsenal to win.
So Arsenal are back.
No. Even the coach knows we're miles behind these people.
Right.
I mean, there's almost a 50-point gap between Arsenal and
So
the top two.
Wait,
so that's why it's such a big deal. Because I'm not saying we're celebrating that we're back. We're celebrating because we beat a big dog. When David defeated Goliath, he celebrated now.
Yep, and got
I mean,
another
okay, I
one
don't
right
know.
now.
Maybe it wasn't. They didn't show a celebration in the Bible, but Baba celebrates. You know?
I know, Abu, you also wear the same shirts on the corner as Jimmy.
Not on the corner, fully.
No, both are
fully.
Okay.
Not to the producer, we should stop carrying all these similar clubs together. We have to put one person one club, another person one club.
Because
You
you
can
do
guess what
shepherd
happened
things.
from
Because you do shepherd things.
And
What
now
do they worry this
I'm
day?
just saying, let AY come back, please.
I beg, I
This
don't
is not
know.
fair.
No.
Abu.
Wait. You know they happy for person where they progress. You know they happy.
There is happy and there is over happy.
Okay, more over happy.
Well, bring your mind down now. Make
More
we talk to this
over
guy now.
happy because my guy know they happy.
I'm really tired.
You're happy for you.
I said this. Jimmy said something about sticking to the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the best game that David Luiz had in his full career in an Arsenal shirt, as far as I'm concerned.
In any shirts.
Yeah.
In any
Wait,
shirts.
Wait, bring your mind down.
No.
Bring your
Let's
mind
forget.
down.
No. Hold on. I beg no
on.
offense. I will
Okay.
bring it back to you. But let's be honest. When you give someone a job to do and he does it to the utmost best, right? And it results in what you expected it to come out to be, I would say that person performed extremely well to his beyond. Yeah, there have been games where David Luiz has scored goals up front. But that's not his job. That's a bonus.
David Luiz.
Primary job,
Second.
best.
David Luiz won the Premier League title.
By what? By defending well. Be honest with you. When he was playing at Chelsea, was he really the great defender that you're talking
Let
about?
us face this man.
Beyond yourself.
Abu,
Thank you very much. I already told him.
Abu, talk to me. Before
Abu,
Jimmy turns into the...
So for more about that. More about that.
Arsenal win against Man City
Thank
happened
you.
to be one great win.
But
Because,
do you see any difference from Arteta? Say the guy, he don't move into a high-level manager with that win because
No,
as Jimmy said,
at
it's
the
a big
moment,
team.
Arsenal they under one process. Then they try to build the team because depend on the player we Arteta see for Arsenal when
Now
he
you
come.
go use.
Okay. So one thing where Arteta don't add to the team na structure. Before now, Arsenal doesn't have a very, very good structure, and it makes Arsenal concede unnecessary goals. It makes the defenders start making mistakes. You can see since Arteta came to the team, Mustafi has been one of the best defenders.
Facts.
Mustafi's game has
Check the statistics.
really improved.
So
And
this is
because before now, Arsenal just they play
Anyhow, no
Now,
direction.
There's a structure. Arsenal concede.
What do they have to do to beat Chelsea?
Just the same way where they take
The determination.
concentrate
That's it.
against Man City.
That is
If
it.
they just concentrate like that against Chelsea, then go win Chelsea.
Chelsea not good.
And the thing is, Arsenal will surely get their chances. If they utilize those chances, they will surely win Chelsea.
Now Rudiger won't stop Ferrari. Why are you talking like this?
Okay, let me carry this talk to a neutral member.
He's
of
not
the
neutral. He lost to Chelsea.
He go dey bias
He
now.
pay you, he pay
He
you.
go dey bias.
He pay you.
It's shock
He
am.
lost woefully.
This is-
Let's put it
This
in.
is
There's three of us, one of you.
He shock am.
AY and I can't speak.
This was not the day you were supposed to be here.
Also,
You were supposed to be here. But the question is this: you saw how Chelsea played against a Manchester United side that everybody had already written the ticket. All the odds, even Nairabet said, talk and say Chelsea go lose because the odds for Chelsea to win, it was not even there at all.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do Chelsea have to do to balance out an Arsenal side?
Look, I think the two teams that are primarily similar, defensive problems,
Bam.
So I'm not going to judge the Arsenal team on the strength of one game. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But like Abu said, there's clearly the sense that everybody's pulling in the same direction. You have defenders that are probably now maybe trying to understand what the manager wants from them. Don't try to be.
Don't do pass yourself.
Don't do more than you can do, and that's in simple parlance. But look, Chelsea also showed a lot of concentration against United. Also, kept very solid at the back, caught out those small defensive problems, and both teams have got potent attacks. And I really feel like in the end, it would be the team that wants it the most, because when you nullify all of what you have said, obviously it comes down to people who take their chances. Of course, Aubameyang is a clinical finisher, one of the best goal scorers in the world. So if the chances fall to him, I'm sure he would score. I just get the sense that Olivier Giroud has a
score to settle.
He's already settled that score.
I mean,
he
he's settled it
broke
for a
our
long
hearts
time.
in Baku. What more does he want to do?
That was
Giroud, get
Hazard.
over it.
That was
We
Hazard.
had you, we let
That
you
was
go.
Hazard.
You want a trophy?
That was Hazard,
Kill
not
yourself.
Giroud. This is the
I
type of
think it'll
Giroud.
be a repeat of.
Baku.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to.
What did you say? What did you say?
score.
Wait, listen, Rule. Take him about his sorry.
Repeat score.
But what you already said it now. There's three of us, there's one of him. You
score.
understand?
Yeah, it's
3-1,
2-1.
Nicolo. He only knows 3-1. Forget. Let me tell you something. You are the one that defeated him. Excuse me.
No,
So
but-
now, my brother, let me explain something to you now. We put both teams, because we're looking at odds here. We need people to have a very, very good understanding of how to bet on this particular fixture. Both teams head to head, right? Forget past experiences, past performances. Attack, midfield, defense, goalkeeper for goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Attack, who has the better attack?
better attack.
You see the thing
It's a one-word answer. It's either Arsenal or Chelsea.
Tie.
It's a tie, actually.
It's a tie because of what?
Right.
Hold on a second.
Because why are you
The
on
basis.
the
Wait,
table?
hold on a second. No. I said
No,
attack.
that's-
Attack.
we're
I
not
said
looking
attack.
at
I didn't say
the
the
table
entire
right
team.
now.
Like they score,
So
but not be
hold on a
goal,
second.
then
Hold on a
rest on the
second.
table.
In this your same statement, how many goals has Giroud and Tammy Abraham scored together?
Together. I don't know the statistics,
Okay,
but the
but let's leave
statistics
that
were
out.
better
But
than
I can
Pepe
tell you-
and Aubameyang.
Aubameyang alone. Aubameyang alone.
Okay,
Just
Aubameyang is a
just
cheat,
use
but you know what?
Martinelli,
You know
use
what?
So
Martinelli.
Aubameyang alone already
Martinelli.
tells you we have a better attack. Let's move on. Midfield.
All right, better striker. I use that.
Midfield.
Midfield. Chelsea have got a better
Chelsea
midfield
has a
by
better
far. There's no
midfield.
doubt about that.
Like,
No doubt about that.
No problem.
That's about
But Arsenal defeated a better midfield than Chelsea's.
Oh, come
Having
on.
said that, we are moving on.
You know what?
Defense.
This is what we're taking. This is what we're
Defense.
taking.
Jimmy's
Jimmy,
coming soon. I'll
Jimmy,
give you-
relax.
I'll give my early birthday present.
Relax. Chelsea's not giving
My
it.
birthday is coming to August 8th, please. You people need to be aware. I need tires.
Our second choice goalkeeper.
You know what's going to happen, guys?
First choice
You know what? I
goalkeeper
see a
right
lot of Arsenal fans as you're watching this. You don't they support, don't they prompt? They be like Jimmy. So if you
Come
feel
on.
like really, like Abu and Jimmy, you guys are really going to have the day. Just go on the
I
comment
never
section.
said we will, oh. I'm just saying,
Now you're sober.
as an Arsenal
No,
fan,
less
I
than 2 seconds
believe
ago.
that
Swap.
what we did against Man
If
City,
you feel,
we do it again. we
if
win.
you feel like Jimmy and Abu, they are very confident about Arsenal, discombobulating Chelsea.
Hey.
Go to the comment section on Twitter or YouTube and say, confirm. And if you're a Chelsea fan and you feel like it not going to happen like that, you say what? If I get. Okay, so if you are still watching this video, let me say you did try that, and you have sense and you're wise. So let's give you something to take home with that you can get some money on. Welcome back to Kicking Nairabet, and I'm still Swore Tracy Chappelle, aka the Queen of Sports, with Men When Sabi. As a proud Chelsea fan, I am happy to talk about this particular game because it affects the business end of the ending of 2020, as it is for EPL, and it is Chelsea looking at people like Leicester City and Manchester United going bus for the final game. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, to be honest, the final game of the season, because Liverpool will be playing Chelsea, I don't know how much of an interest Chelsea will still need to have in their last game of the season. But the most impetus would be between Leicester City and Manchester United. Regardless of what Man U play against West Ham on Wednesday, it's very important that they also get points off Leicester, because that would mean they would deny Leicester the push to take them out of it. So I believe in that game against Leicester, which Leicester is at home for. Leicester will have every reason to play for it, but I can't look beyond Manchester United. It would be disappointing if the Devils don't come to play. So I'm expecting Manchester United to win that one against Leicester City. I think that attack line is devastating, and they will be able to do some damage against Leicester. So I'll give Manchester United very much 2.5 votes to win.
2.5 votes, a straight win.
Yes.
Manchester United.
Yeah,
Stella mentions?
I would go for a Leicester win or draw.
Win or draw. Leicester win or draw.
Leicester win or draw.
Whoa.
Because at the moment, Man U are having issues at the back, and a player like Vardy would want to continue scoring just like he has always been doing. So he would surely score, and they would surely choke the midfield against Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, and that should be a win or draw because they are at home.
3-4-3 formation. Do you think if he uses it again, I'm talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they will still be able to get a win out of Leicester?
3-4-3. I mean, I'm not really
I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not one for systems, especially when you're playing for serious things. I think United's trick is obvious. It's been Bruno Fernandes playing well. If he plays well, the team plays well. Abu and Jimmy have given very good odds, even though Abu takes it a step further by saying Vardy should be an anytime goal scorer. So,
I know, right? Which is a bit weird, but
that's a smart move because the odds for
think
that
about
are
the fact
like...
that he knows Maguire, same teammates last year. Probably finds out Maguire's weaknesses. You never know.
But just give us small check for night. Make it all drink her first. They
If
take
the
small
hair's not
vodka,
playing well,
chop. So okay, I'm going to roll that to you.
Sister, you're so humble. Whoa.
What that?
That's what defeat does. It makes you calm down.
I'm trying to see. So I think you have not realized the incredible Twitter following we have, not from a numbers point of view, but from a banter point of view.
Right.
Look, all the odds you have made and all the marks you have made, they will come for you. We
Oh.
Are they here? I be like person where they wrong.
Shameless.
Now all do not they talk.
We know
Whoa.
You want
I see the sense with the proud. Where's it they talk?
I can tell you this now.
Cheers me, darling. Look me for eyes.
I'm proud.
Cheers to Arsenal.
Why can't you see me?
You cannot shame the
No,
shameless.
trust me, it's not possible.
What is there?
So your top four. Liverpool, Manchester United, who gets to make it?
Well, Liverpool to win the league as they've already won the league. Manchester City will be second as they've already been in second place.
Third.
It will be Chelsea and Manchester United.
Chelsea, Manchester United.
Well, same here.
Yeah. Any answer when you talk, you talk. That's
We did together. Evil. My brother. It's okay.
You be.
Look, I strongly feel just to change things up a little bit. I feel very strongly, and this is a side playing devil's advocate. I think Liverpool beat Chelsea. That throws spanner in the works of the top four. I think Leicester and United make it through.
Leicester and who? Leicester gets third or fourth.
No, I mean I'm not sure.
Leicester right now would be okay
I think
with
United
fourth.
finished third.
So Man U, Leicester.
Leicester finished fourth.
I just want to put it out
Chelsea,
there.
Chelsea drop out.
He's a
Chelsea
Man U
drop out.
fan. He's
Okay.
a Man U fan.
Okay, that's a bold call, man.
He's a red devil. If you check his box size, it's red.
Wow. You had to go that low. Okay, I'm going to drop this. Udinese, Juventus, last game. Juventus gets this to get the season.
Ronaldo
Juventus are
hat
winning
trick.
their title.
I'll go as far as
Straight
Ronaldo hat
win.
trick.
Can
Because
we-
he needs to win
can we
that
go?
goal scorer.
I think that's a straight win for
Straight
Juventus.
win.
For
Straight
Juventus,
win.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Ronaldo hat trick. Remember I said it in Viva Ilori.
I don't even mind. I don't
Ronaldo
even.
will kick it in 3 times. Penalty will be there.
Review one
Penalty
time.
will be there.
Okay, there you have it right there. Thank you so much for popping through. Thank you for taking off your glasses because when you start the show, they wear glasses.
No, make her end down.
No, end down with
No.
Don't do
As
that.
you start shows and
Don't
your parents
do,
with
don't
class
do.
and guile.
Oh my lord. My
The
lord.
trophy is so bright. The FA Cup trophy is so bright.
Ladies
I
and
have to
gentlemen,
show
Jimmy, the superstar analyst.
Let me lift
thank you
my
for coming
cup.
through. And of course, Abu Aziz, thank you for playing through the zones. Our superstar captain. It's fantastic.
it. Lift cup for them.
Now leave the cup. Now the only cup one I go leave this season anyway.
Abba.
So like they beat.
Abba.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Yubi.
She's the host of the
You're
show.
allowed to carry the
Wow.
cup finish when you talk this kind of thing.
My brother, cheers.
Thank you for letting me oppress you on this side of the couch.
No,
And thank
great.
you. Thank you for coming through. And of course, we'll see you when all this is said and done. And we come in again for the Champions
I will
League.
come back.
It's
Me.
back.
I will come back. I'll tell you I said so.
I will come back with my cup too. And Stevie Swan, the queen of sports, and Boko to you.